morning, Twitch and YouTube. Today is a day, and first and foremost, I would like to take some time while we are doing our dailies and getting our resin dealt with, to talk about faith, understanding, and just a generalized specifically my views on gods and morality. I guess that doesn't matter if it's okay with you or not, no one's watching yet, so I'm gonna talk about it anyway. So, first things first though, we are gonna change over, because I keep forgetting to change this. Alright. So the first thing I'd like to talk about is I am pagan. I am specifically Norse pagan. And you might be thinking, well, that doesn't matter or anything, but I truly believe that people's beliefs, especially beliefs or lack thereof in faith, can define how we interact with both our morals and everyone else. I am a Norse pagan very specifically because I believe that the gods and goddesses have jobs. Those jobs are part of their divinity, a lot like how the archons in this game are doing stuff. They are leaders of their nations, and that is their job. Right? So, in paganism as a general statement, we have this idea that good things bring evil things bring good things. That doesn't necessarily mean that you should go out and do evil things just for the fun, but rather that the things that you do should be purposeful. You should purposefully be doing good things with the understanding that bad things may come, and you should be purposefully doing evil things with the idea that good can come from them. Ah, you again, you scared off my pigeons. Again, I was feeding them. What do you have to say for yourself? Oops. Mommy always says if someone's really sorry, they'll show it with their actions, not their words. Bridge pigeons are my friends, and I feed them all the time. But these days, the ducks are coming and stealing their food. Pigeons have nothing to eat anymore. Find 3 wheat. Both sides have enough. Thank you. We have the wheat. So, that's basic paganism. In Norse paganism, there is kind of an extra layer to that, which is basically you don't get to know what actions are good versus actions that are bad until the consequences of those actions arise. So the idea in Norse paganism is that you try your best and you do things with purpose, with wisdom and with thought to others. Specifically, the others that you need to be watching out for are your bonded brothers, your family, and your clan / land / nation, whatever. So we in paganism, depending on your flavor of paganism, of course, don't have a quote-unquote personal connection with our gods per se. You can foster a personal connection, but it's not outright just there. You can carry favor with gods, but as a general statement, the gods and goddesses do not give a fuck about humanity, mainly because humanity is a result of actions. Humanity sprung not from one god or goddess per se, but rather from all of them doing their work. And from doing their work, maybe right, maybe wrong, they also have to deal with us, you know what I mean? So, that whole thing that Christians say where like, oh, the God, God works in mysterious ways, kind of also echoes in paganism. These gods are doing their job, and in doing their job, like everyone else, gods have good days, gods have bad days. And that matters. But as a general sense, in paganism, there isn't necessarily, especially Norse paganism, there isn't necessarily this idea of omniscience. There isn't this idea that the gods just know what's going on. They aren't watching everything all the time, all at once. They are, in fact, doing what they need to do, which maybe sometimes is watching, maybe sometimes it's not. But it's definitely not watching every single person in the entire universe, right? And so, there is a disconnect. And that disconnect is really important when talking about not just the gods, but how... Give me a second, I need to change over my party.
Leave it to me.
How this disconnect interacts with how the gods see humans and how the gods interact with humans. There is, in generalized paganism, there is this idea that, the gods don't necessarily have the good of humanity in mind because, again, humanity is just a secondary thing to their job, to their work, to what they're doing as a general statement.
With sword comes shadow.
So they are not necessarily forced, acquiesced. They're not they're not part of their job is not to coddle us. Part of their job is not it is not part of their job to watch after us as guardians, per se. Again, this does depend on the god you're talking about. There are some gods that have gods and goddesses that have chosen, or as part of their work, also have to work with humans. And that's kind of cool. But there's this disconnect, and they come from a quote-unquote higher or lower plane, depending on, again, the gods, goddesses that you're talking about. And in that, sometimes there is mistranslations, missed opportunities, things that go basically not necessarily unsaid, but basically there are things that are, humans think is a good thing, but gods think is a horrible thing, right? Kind of like, humans can't agree on what's good or bad in general, except for like maybe 5 simple rules, and even then we still don't agree on that. You know what I mean? And how does this all connect into Genshin? Well, here's the thing. We're about to go on the one part of this game that I remember the most vividly, and that is the Vision Hunt Decree and the detriment that it brings. And I remember when we fight the Shogun, when we fight Raiden Shogun, that there is, as a general statement, this feeling that she truly believes that the Vision Hunt Decree is good and necessary, because her morals and ideas do not even closely align with the morals and ideas of humans. And one of the things that makes me just extremely angry at the Shogun Raiden is that she doesn't necessarily even try to understand why these things are necessary.
Speed of light.
Let alone understanding that they're not just necessary, they're literally part of our human ambition and who we are as living beings. Sure, maybe not everyone gets a vision, but every single human being has ambition, even if that ambition is small or meaningless, quote unquote meaningless. And the fact that she's not willing to even hear it out. I remember her saying something along the lines of, isn't it better to live without ambition than to set your entire life on one moment or something like that and have, you know, your life controlled by this one ambition. And to me, that's just a sore understanding of human beings. Now, if I remember correctly, and I might be wrong on this is one of the reasons why I'm replaying through, she's locked herself away from, like, everybody.
Speed of light.
I don't remember exactly how it works, but, like, there's a her that is outside that, like, does the showy stuff. Who does the showing up in person. And then there's the real her, which is locked up in her mind, separated completely from humans. So there is something to say that she is completely separate from the understandings of what humans are, what humans need, etc. But then in that, unlike Venti, she still decides to rule over her country, rule over her nation, and rule over her people, even though she has literally no idea what her people need, want, could use, etc. And that's the part that pisses me off. She is making large, sweeping decisions without even understanding what her people need or want as a general statement. And that's just horrific. As a god as a god who chooses to rule over humans, that is negligence. Oh man, I can say this word. I know I can. Negligence. Let's see if we can get that. Hold on. Negligence. That's negligible. And
It's time to move on. We shouldn't stay here.
For lack of better wording, you know, it seems that she doesn't care that she is laterally choosing things for other people. She is just, I am the goddess of this place, so I know best. Which, I mean, again, that's how some gods are. But that doesn't make them good gods. In paganism, there is this idea that, sure, there maybe isn't a heaven and hell. And maybe good gods are bad gods and bad gods are good gods, depending on the context of not just the situation, but also of what their jobs are. Because at the end of the day, the god of trickery is a good god because he is doing his trickery. And that is a necessary thing in the world. Even if it hurts people, he is doing his job. And those who serve under him are doing their jobs. Whereas a quote-unquote good god, say of wisdom, say like Odin, could technically be a bad god if he is, say, not doing his job. If he is acting in ignorance, if he is acting in haste, without understanding. And because he is acting outside of his job and outside of his parameters, he is quote-unquote bad. Not evil, but you know. And again, this also comes to, like, there are good days, there are bad days. Although gods and goddesses may not be quote-unquote human, I believe that literally everything in the universe, everything, even planets
Let it rain.
and solar systems and,
Speed of light.
you know, light,
One
energy,
step back, two
everything
forward.
has a good and a bad day. Everything can have fluctuations, and in those fluctuations is how we find what the parameters of things are. And I guess it just really bothers me because the parameters of the Raiden Shogun is that she wants to rule over her people. Fine, great. And she wants to do that forever. Again, fine, great. But you can't rule over people fundamentally, either as a human or as a god or as an ant, without knowing your people. It is physically impossible to rule over someone without actually seeing them. It is physically impossible to rule over people that you refuse to be part of. This is one of the reasons why kings were dethroned, whether that was by blood eagles of Vikings or by their own people with guillotines. At the end of the day, people are not going to be ruled over by someone who doesn't even understand what's going on. We see this here in America too. We are reaching a point, especially when it comes to like healthcare and stuff, where the rich are so far from us, and they have demanded in this last election to be rulers over us. And people are waking up to the fact that these people have no idea what they're doing because they are so far away from everything. They are so far detached from the normal, everyday life that they literally could not figure out what is quote-unquote good for us, even if they were trying, which they are not. But even if they were trying, they wouldn't be able to figure it out because their lives are so vehemently different from us. And that matters.
Ad Astra Abyss.
So it's not surprising to me that the Shogun has people who are 100% ready to go to war with their gods, even knowing that they face annihilation and desolation. Because to them, it's desolation either way. To them, either way that they go, they are going to be destroyed. And that's just how it is. And to some people, that's acceptable, and to other people, it's just physically not. And when faced with desolation and isolation and whatever else you may be, people are more than willing to step up and fight. And that's what we're seeing here, is we are seeing freedom fighters who are really ready to be absolutely obliterated because like they can't, and they know they can't possibly go up against this goddess. Like, this Archon will absolutely destroy them, but they have no choice but to try, because in their hearts, in their souls, and in their duties, this is the right thing to do for them. For them, this is second nature. A second nature necessity in order to survive. So, the Raiden Shogun pisses me off because she doesn't even try, as far as I remember, she doesn't even try to understand the needs of her people. She doesn't try to understand that, you know, the visions are something that people have earned. It is now part of them as much as being an Archon is part of the Shogun. So it bothers me on a fundamental level that the Shogun is allowed to have her fundamental being intact, but she is trying to rip the fundamental being from others. And I'm not necessarily saying like a Genos or anything like that. I mean, as it stands, she is the goddess of lightning and eternity, and she is ruling over her people, and those things are part of her being, and she has chosen to seal away her most depth of being and personhood. And that's her choice, of course. But the problem that comes with it being her choice is simply the fact that she, in all of her hypocrisy, is ripping that very thing that she seeks to protect in herself, she's ripping away from other human beings. And that, to me, is a horrible, horrible thing that cannot be understated in how god-awful that is. Because, again, she has allowed herself to more or less lock her being away for safety, her being away from erosion or time, or however you want to perceive that. But in humans' short lives, their being and who they are and their ambition is, she's just stripped them away without care and without contest until we arrive. And that, my friends, is literally horrifying to me. Truly and utterly horrifying. When gods act in such a way and to where their actions negatively affect the entire world and or even just the people they swore to protect, that in my mind is acting in the bad, is acting in the negative. Now, in my opinion, and it is only my opinion, these things... Wait, hold on, which ones do I need? These things have to be corrected, and this is how we end up with people willing to fight the gods. In this world, in our world, it quite doesn't matter, because the basic idea of I have independence, free will, and shit, what's the word? Give me a second, hold on, I'll get it. Words are failing me at this moment. I know this in the back of my head, and every time I go to think about it, it flings the word further away from me. Agency. We have agency, and in that agency, we can see when others, humans or otherwise, are trying to stop us from using that agency to be ourselves, whether that's our best selves or our worst selves. And that makes people fight, especially when it is so unjust as it is. And it is unjust. It is absolutely unjust. If not, in my opinion, pure evil, to go around stripping people of their ambition, stripping people of something that they have earned. Because no matter how you slice up the visions and how they are given, stolen, earned, etc., it is still something in which a human has done a thing to have it. And taking it away belittles that thing that they have done, if that makes sense to people. Where am I going? Oh, right. We need to go here. Also, isn't no well? Yes, okay. And I can't stand by anyone, truly anyone. Shit. Who would then take away something that was earned. Oh hey, we do need help with bosses. But yeah, that's my opinion. That's why I'm so mad. Is because the Raiden Shogun is vehemently a hypocrite. And I cannot stand hypocrites.
Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember. But where are those who share the memory?
Leave it to me. All of it. Whatever it is. What exactly is it? I didn't quite catch your request.
I'm explaining to Twitch and to YouTube how I can't stand hypocrites even if they're gods. And in fact, more so if they are gods. Yes, question divinity. Yes, absolutely, Kaching is right. Question divinity. Yes, exactly. My friend just said, priming people to not question divinity is priming people to not question authority. Oh. Oh, geez, they are already at the thing, killing it. Oh, I do have a teleport point open. Oh, that's cool. That's good to know. And do need to go and get healed before we try to do anything else. And I definitely question authority, and I definitely question godhood, deities. In paganism, it is not just something that is encouraged, but something that is part of our tenets. Because not every god wishes you good. Not every god wishes you harm, but not every god wishes you good.
Order guide you.
God damn, that's a lot. I wonder if that's a Can you be helped, Mouse?
Onwards. We have work to do. I'm sorry, I'm Bouncy Mouse. It's time to move.
Where do you want to go next? If you'd like to see Liyue's tourist spots, I have a few references. Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember.
So yeah, that is my thoughts on it. I will probably say this again when Bobby Vita and or Saints gets back on and watches me, because this is something that I want to talk to my little community, even though it's a tiny community. Go, go.
Onwards. We have work to do.
We should actually go cook some food. And then we need to figure out what we're missing for... It says flour and some sort of spice. Oh, I wonder if I can... First off, we should claim. And go from there. Okay, there are some stuff that we can make. Okay. This looks like the only defense meal I can make, but let's go. I know I'm gonna need these for the
I
fighting
do hope
the
the Knights of
Shogun.
Favonius are all working hard.
I remember that there was another fight that I struggled with. I don't remember who that fight was with. That should be good. Maybe we should make more of these. Just in case. Cool, I got to level 23. Alright, before we have anyone come into my stream, I think I'm gonna go to the bathroom while I wait, honestly. So we've done pretty much everything. Oh.
Wind, hear me.
No! Look who is bad at life.
Maybe you're not... If you ever have any...
Yeah, let's just stay in our teapot for a minute. Alright, I'll be right back.
Whenever you need me, I'll be there. Leave it to me. All of it. Whatever it is. What exactly is it? I didn't quite catch your request. You seem tired. Would you like some tea? I'll brew you some. Do you take sugar? 1 cube or 2? Whenever you need me, I'll be there. whatever it is.
I'm playing this game
What
called High Water
exactly is
during
it?
the night.
I didn't quite catch your request.
And oh my god, it's a game that was made in 2022, but like holy shit how much it's still very prevalent today. It's a game about a post-apocalyptic floods. And I found a book that was all like Bozo and Mazcoffee or something like that are racing to Mars. And I'm like, yes, Musk and Bezos are racing to Mars, aren't they? Oh god. Right, because it's closer and it's literally right there.
Whenever you need me,
It
I'll
makes
be
sense.
there.
The moon's boring, we're going to Mars. Fuck all of the scientific reasons why we should do the moon first and not Mars, right? It's boring, so we're gonna go to Mars. This is the people who are in charge of our government. This is just straight awful. Yeah, I saw that and I don't know what that's about. Do you have any information about that?
Leave it to me, all of it, whatever it is.
Oh yeah?
What exactly is it? I didn't quite catch your request.
Before I fire you? Mm-hmm. Right, because of course you didn't. Of course. Which they should not believe because he didn't pay the Twitter employees. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yep. Hopefully not many. But there's always going to be a handful.
Whenever you need me, I'll be there.
Nor will he pay you, even if he did have the authority. Do not obey in advance. Friday, I get to find out on whether or not I get to keep my trans treatment. Well, I don't know how that whole fucking executive order works. You know what I mean? Like...
Leave it to me, all of it.
So I'm
whatever it
hoping
is.
that I still get to keep my
What
trans
exactly
care, but
is
also
it?
I don't
I
fucking
didn't
know.
quite catch your request.
Mm-hmm. Which isn't how our government should be running. Yep. But also, fuck our government. At this point, what has the government ever done for our specific generation? Like, we're paying into fucking Social Security that will not exist when we need it. We're paying into Medicaid that we haven't gotten very much percentage of comparatively to the other generations. You know what I mean? Yup. As is food stamps, because of course it is. Apparently, a whole bunch of fucking Trump voters are surprised. There's been a lot of videos of Trump supporters crying about their, like, benefits getting canceled. And all I can say is, well, you fucking voted for this. What did you think? That they were only going to cancel the benefits of black people?
I'll be there.
Like, are you fucking stupid? And the answer is yes, they are literally fucking stupid and in a fucking cult. And it's crazy. Absolutely freaking crazy. How's your day looking?
You seem tired. Would you like some tea? I'll brew you some.
That's good.
Do you take sugar? 1 cube or 2?
Well, hopefully after I'm done streaming, I don't have work until tomorrow. We could watch like some ghosts or something maybe. I don't know how long I'm going to be streaming or how long I'm going to be gaming with Drunk, but I didn't forget that we were watching a show, I promise. Things just keep coming up. Yep. Also, I need you to keep playing through Genshin so that we can talk about stuff, because there's lots of fucking stuff to talk about. There's so much to talk about in this game. But also, this game really makes me want to make my own game where we actually get to world jump. I'm tired of, yeah, you're a world jumper, you get to go to a different world, and either the worlds are empty as fuck like in No Man's Sky, or you jump to one world and this is where you're staying for all of the story period.
I didn't quite catch your request.
Like, that's so boring. What's the point of being a fucking world jumper if you're not jumping worlds? I mean, that's better than one, sure, but, like, you're a world jumper. You should be jumping to worlds. Worlds plural, not two. Like, 5. You know, 5's a good number. Sorry, I keep distracting you from your work. Alright, let's see. Oh, we have stuff. Oh, we have lots of stuff to claim. Huh. Wine o'clock.
Whenever you need me, I'll be there.
Okay, we were over here, and I saw a depth chamber off in the distance. Yes, there it is. Let's go open it. Also, let's switch over our team. Well, actually, let's not, because we're gonna go gather more rocks. So we should just gather rocks.
Cryo is always far more effective in the rain. This is going to get interesting.
Ow.
What's the hurry?
We should climb these rocks to get up there. At least it's not like Breath of the Wild where, like, if you are climbing while it's raining, it's like you're not climbing. It's raining, Willow. What did you think was gonna happen? Come on.
Opening a chest is like unwrapping a gift.
Maybe I should have marked where that was.
Bet you can't keep up with me.
Yeah. Let's... I'm gonna wait here for a moment, but not too long. Oh, look, dandelions. Where are my party thingies? Do I not have party stuff when I'm... Oh, you know what? I think it's because I'm in co-op. See if leaving co-op makes that any better. That was not the right button. Yep. Yeah. Storm, go away, so we can get this chest. Marked it, so it should be fine. As long as I remember what the mark is for.
Thunder and lightning can be quite frightening, but don't worry. Lyra's storm and fire defenses are second to none.
Still raining. Alright, well... hey, and look, it stopped storming, so we can go back to where that one was. Hopefully.
Dodge this!
Don't blink! Hey!
That's not the way I wanted that, but okay.
Incoming!
Cool it! Dodge this!
Is it still raining? It is. Never mind. Good. Good, good, good.
I'm so sorry. Don't push your luck. Freeze!
Speed of light!
That's not what I wanted. Oh, that's still kind of not what I wanted. We got interrupted, and I just remembered that we got interrupted from going and finding...
This way. Perfect. We should move out.
Please excuse me. Those ones, but there's like tons on this mountain. And we should grab them. 'Cause they reset like every couple of days or so. And I don't want to be trying to get them and have to like wait even longer to get them.
Someone needs assistance. Someone needs assistance.
Trying to remember where all of these are on this mountain. So this mountain alone, we can get quite a few of them. And since Genshin is still kind of our main right now, it's really necessary.
There's no end to this.
I mean, you could just not, and that would be it. I think that's all of them. The rest are just rocks. And then if I remember right, there was like... Ah, yes, here. Nope! Fuck! That board gets me every fucking time. Ooh, shoot. Shoot, shoot. Okay, where else did I find? I swear I saw some here. I might be wrong. Yes. Oh, there's a chest over there. It's not really what I'm looking for. So there's a bunch of food and stuff this way. I don't know how often this stuff refreshes, but either way, I should grab it while I have it. Jujubee. Some of this stuff I would love to have in real life. Like, if I lived in this world, I would go out of my way specifically to gather. To eat and have noms. Okay, so you cannot. There we go. More. Yum, 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 yum. Oh, then there's a viewpoint. Hey, Valby Vita! Kaboom! I'm actually really glad. I know it sounds weird, but I was waiting for you to get on. You really do have so many beloveds, don't you? No! Beautiful. I was actually waiting for you to get on specifically to do the story quest. I was waiting. Let's see. Well, I like Kingsay because there's glazed lilies for Ningguang. Yes, there's also Core Lapis. Yes, Core Lapis is what I was here collecting, was Core Lapis. But now that you're here, I'm so happy. Hey, yay! I can start on the story quest. I was kind of stalling to see if you and or Saints would get on. I was talking about how earlier in the stream I was talking about how in paganism it's understandable and even necessary to question the gods, basically. That not all gods who are good are watching after you, and not all gods who are evil are out to hurt you. So it's really important to question both gods and authority. So, yeah. And I was talking about how I remember this. I remember what we're about to go do, and how horrible it is to take visions away from people. And that I remember that the Shogun, I don't remember the exact details, but I remember that the Shogun has locked herself away to protect herself, basically, from eternity. And I was talking about how hypocritical it is that she gets to lock her most inner self away, but she's ripping away the most important parts of humans. I don't know if that's interesting to you to maybe talk about or what, but yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier today.
Let's see. Where's the person Ayaka told us about?
Why are you doing this? Why leave all of a sudden, after all these years?
Precisely. It's much too sudden. We've had no time to prepare.
In polytheistic
The
religions,
children are
gods
desperate
aren't
for you
perfect
to take them
monoliths,
out
they're
to
reflections
play.
of what is true. Yes,
Please, we urge
absolutely.
you to reconsider.
I was talking how in paganism as a general sense, all gods have jobs. And just like anything that has a job or an existence, there are good days and bad days. In Norse paganism, which is what I am, there is specifically an apathy towards humans, that the gods aren't really out here to watch over humans. They're just here to do their job, and sometimes humans help or hurt, or can be helped or hurt. You know what I mean? And that paganism really does ask people to question not just everything, but specifically question the gods themselves. Also, the Raiden shotgun is a hypocrite, and I'm gonna say it a couple of times as we go through the story, but like, fuck, dude. How dare you rip away the ambitions of other people while locking yourself away from the humans you quote-unquote rule over?
If you want my opinion, something to do with the Vision Hunt decree. It's clear that Tejima had done nothing wrong, and still they confiscated his vision. After that, he became a completely different person. I can't claim to fully understand it, but I could tell that he'd lost something very important to him. He went off on a walk, alone, circled the village a few times, and then out of the blue, he announced that he was going to leave and become a wanderer.
I can explain her euthium a bit more, but I think they talk about it sometime soon. I think so. I think they do. And I remember it being like her inner realm that she's more or less, she locked herself away, and she has like a projection of herself, or like, I don't know, there's an outer her and then there's an inner her. And my big thing is, do you want me to say? Yeah, I don't per se mind, especially while we're talking about this stuff. I mean, again, it's one of those things that I barely remember. You know what I mean?
Truth be told, we aren't sure whether trying to keep him here is the right thing to do. But equally, it doesn't feel right to let him leave when he's in this state. He's a lost soul.
Seems like he's a well-respected guy around here.
Excuse me.
Ah, you must also be here to try and convince Tejima to stay.
What's happened?
Tejima has protected this place ever since he arrived here 30 years ago. Keeping out the treasure hoarders, fending off any monsters that draw near, resolving quarrels between the villagers. He has put an enormous amount of work into looking after this place, and we all think the world of him. But now, all of a sudden, he says he plans to leave us. We can't help but wonder, was it something we did? We will gladly apologize if that's the case. All we want is for him to stay.
You must be Tejima. So what's made you want to up and leave all of a sudden?
Me? It's not a question of why I want to leave, but a question of what reason I would have to stay.
Everyone depends on you.
True, but that's not why I chose to stay here. And what made me want to come here 30 years ago? And why have I never wanted to leave in all that time? I don't have answers to those questions because I can't remember anymore. Ever since they took my vision away, it's like a slice of my memory is gone. In the past, I knew I wanted to stay here. But whatever resolve I had then, it's gone now. So I thought, what's to stop me from moving around instead? The emptiness inside me will be there either way.
Okay. Well, in that case, if we help you rediscover the reason you chose to stay, you won't need to leave anymore, right? But if you can't remember anything, it's not gonna be easy. Oh, maybe if you just try a little harder to remember,
Paimon, you
it'll all
fucking
come
asshole.
flooding back.
Absolute ableist
Oh,
bitch.
that reminds me. Last time I brought
Just try a
Tejima
little
some
harder.
fruit, I do believe I saw him writing in a diary.
I keep a diary? If you say so. I honestly can't seem to remember.
Oh, yes, you do. And what's more, I remember you saying at the time that you wanted to make a note of a few interesting things. Things which would prove very important at a later date.
Perfect! So if we want to keep Tejima from leaving, we just need to find his diary. It must be around here somewhere. Let's take a look.
If you don't mind, we will leave you to find the diary. We should head back to the village to inform the others of Tejima's situation.
One day, I'll be as great as Ryuji.
Wait 1 second. But yeah.
This looks like
From what I
Tejima's
remember,
diary, all
I
right?
really find the Shogun to be
Let's see
a
what we
stubborn
have here.
hypocrite.
Today, the villagers and I got together to cook dry braised salted fish. I messed up and burned mine a little, so I had to pretend that it was black snakehead instead. Today, I helped rescue a kid who had fallen in the water. After I pulled him out, he told me that his best friend Bamboo was still in the water. I searched the water the whole afternoon before finding out that Bamboo was the name of his pet crab. I went kite flying today. The string broke, so I chased after it as fast as I could. I soon realized I was never going to get it back, so I just found somewhere to sit and watch as it flew away into the distance. Seems like your average diary of daily village life. Huh? Wait, there's more! I went to pray at the shrine again today and stayed there a while. The Omamori you gave me has faded a little, but it is still my most treasured possession. Now that's the kind of info we're looking for. Time to pay a visit to the shrine.
Tiny shrine.
So this is the Omamori Tejima wrote about. Interesting. Looking at the color and the design, Paimon would have thought it belonged to a child. But anyway, if he had this with him all the time, there's a chance some of his elemental energy remained on it. Do you think that it might come in handy?
Ooh, Bobby Vita says, the Electro Archon has abandoned her body and settled her mind and consciousness away in her plane of Ethereum. A tranquil state of mind in positive sense serenity. With the plane, she meditates while an autonomous puppet, okay, so it's a puppet, she constructed rules the nation according to her programming. She did this to prevent erosion from affecting herself. I mean, I can get the reason why she locked herself away. It's not that she locked herself away. It's that she chose to do that and then hypocritically, because like what she's doing is locking her most precious self away, you know, or her core, her spirit, whatever archons have. I don't know if they have souls or if that's whatever, but she locked away herself and with that, I don't want to say freedom, but with that act, in and of itself isn't bad, but then her going and ripping away the most important part of other people, of humans, is where the hypocrisy comes from. She basically said, erosion's not allowed to touch me, but I am going to violently erode humans and my country that I'm supposed to be ruling over. Because I remember when we fight her, and this is like the only thing I remember of that fight, to be honest, I saw red and stopped paying attention, was she knows. Like, she knows about the Vision Hunt. She knows that the Fatui have something to do with it. I don't remember what they have to do with it, but they have some shit to do with it. Where am I going? Wrong way. And that, to me, is just really hypocritical. She can still take control of the Shogun to handle matters. Yeah. That makes sense. Where was this pointing me? Oh, it was pointing me... What? Can I get into this house? I cannot get into this house. But the fact that she's ripping away the most important part of her people. That to me is the critical part. Am I reading this right? Oh, here we go. I'm just not looking down.
Here we are! This seems to be somewhere that Tejima visited a lot. The soil looks like it's been disturbed. Maybe Tejima buried something precious here. Something that kept him in the village all these years? Must be something pretty amazing if it made him stick around for 30 years. Let's dig it up and take a look. It looks like a letter. The paper's gone yellow. Must have been written a really long time ago. Konda Village.
If we
Sounds so
become
familiar.
separated during the war, go
Where
wait
is
for
that
me
place again?
in this village. There will be a safe home for us. It's here.
So the reason Tejima came here was to wait for someone. But he's been here for 30 years. Oh, guess they didn't show up in the end, huh?
Well, if it was a war
Let's
Paimon,
go
they
give
may be dead.
Tejima his stuff back and take it from there.
One day, I'll be as great as Ryuji.
Well, I'll be. That's certainly my handwriting. And I guess the Omamorian letter belonged to me too. But I have no memory of anything that's written in this diary. Still, it's clear that I was waiting for someone here, and that I chose to wait for 30 years. Over the years, I must have made a note of anything interesting. Anything that I could share with her when we were finally reunited. And just look at all the things that did happen over the years. The time has flown by so quickly. 30 years feels like the blink of an eye. How could I have forgotten something so important to me? Now that I think about it, when my vision was taken from me, it felt like I'd suddenly been hollowed out.
There is something to say of the opposite of what I've been thinking, too. It may not be that she's a hypocrite, maybe it's that she's an extremist. She has hollowed out her own self, kinda, to go live in Ethereum and have a puppet, her body, be her front piece. So much so that she believes that that's how everyone should live, and by taking visions, she's hollowing out her people, which I still think is just god-awful and horrible, and a symptom of her being disconnected from the people she's supposed to be ruling over. Because, like, how could you ever think that this is an okay thing? Like, regardless of how visions are given, taken, earned, etc., they are a thing that exists, and people have them for a reason, just in the same way, like, you know, I don't even know, just this whole
Love,
fucking
regrets.
I'm so
Everything I felt
surprised
for her.
that I continued this
It's all
game
disappeared.
after I ran into this quest, and it might be a little hard for me replaying these quests to, like, how could you hollow out human beings and think that that's okay?
No, not especially. After all, I've forgotten who she was. Her face, her voice, the things we experienced together. I barely recall any of it. It's as if she'd never been in my life to begin with. As if all these years have been nothing but a hazy dream.
So do you still plan on leaving?
I think maybe not. If this is something I waited most of my life for, I suppose I should carry on waiting. Although, what if she were to turn up eventually, only to find I didn't remember so much as her name? Wouldn't that be upsetting for her? When I think about it like that, I do feel a slight tinge of sadness in my heart. How curious. Why am I thinking like this when I don't even remember who she is? It's just like that feeling of emptiness, the feeling that something is missing. Thank you both for helping me reconnect with my reason for staying here. I shall remain here, and keep waiting for her.
Tejima seems to be dealing okay, but still, it makes Paimon really sad.
Losing a reason to feel sad is maybe the saddest thing of all.
Seems it's just like Ayaka and Tomo were saying. If you lose your vision, you lose all your hopes and dreams too. That certainly explains the state Tejima was in earlier. At least we were able to help him, weren't we? Well, let's go find the next person. According to Miss Kamisato, the second one who lost their vision is a samurai from the Tenryou Commission.
Sorry, just give me one moment. Okay.
Already waited this long.
We're breathing through this quest. We're remembering that it's not too long of a quest. And that our anger is valid, but also it is just a game. Even if it is close to real life. Like, this kind of stuff reminds me of just like the past and the history that any marginalized group has had to go through. You know what I mean? Like, having your identity ripped away from you because fuck you. I live in America, so the first thing that obviously comes up to my mind is the...
They say the Tenryou Commission is directly controlled by the Shogun. They're the ones responsible for maintaining law and order in Inazuma. The ones actually enforcing the Vision Hunt Decree. But why would they take action against one of their own?
It reminds me of the history between Native Americans and America as a general statement. And tons of other things. Like I said, any marginalized group that has gone under hardship has had to deal with something along the lines of this, of having something absolutely hollowed out. Like, trans people right now are dealing with literally some jackass in power going, you don't get to be who you are because you don't exist. But also, he's not smart, so whatever.
Paimon doesn't get it. Huh? There seems to be some commotion over there. Let's go see what's happening.
I'll ask one more time. Do you intend to withhold this month's emergency provisions?
The entire clan is counting on that food. We demand an explanation.
How many times do I have to say it? I don't know anything about emergency provisions.
You dare deceive us? Those provisions are essential. Do you understand? Not some goods to be pocketed by greedy samurai.
You samurai think you can just do whatever you please? The Tenryou Commission will hear of this!
Oh, huh? And who are you? One of Kurosawa's gang, no doubt.
What? We just happened to be passing by. We heard the commotion and came to see what the matter was.
I see. You seem to have come just at the right time. Perhaps you can help us settle this matter. This is Kurosawa. He's a samurai and a member of the Shogun's army. They issue emergency provisions to the area, and he's the one responsible for distribution. In the past, we'd simply ask him for provisions and everything would be delivered. Now, he suddenly refuses to give us anything. He's keeping the provisions for himself, I just know it. We'll starve without them.
No one seems to care about us. We used to think Kurosawa was a kind man, but he's shown his true colors. He's the same as all the other samurai. It's no wonder all the visions have been confiscated. The Raiden Shogun doesn't need people like him helping her rule the nation.
This must be one of the people Ayaka asked us to help.
He literally didn't refuse. He says he doesn't know what's going on. Yeah, they're letting their anger really cloud their mind.
Kurosawa and see what he has to say.
But again, that's what happens with minorities, you know what I mean? They speak out and then are kind of shot down and their words absolutely twisted, as well as their symbols. It's just, I don't know, this whole fucking nation makes me just angry.
I've never
Because it's
even
just like,
heard of these emergency provisions.
they are so cut off from the world that they literally are imploding on themselves because they don't have the ability to be self-reliant. Like, people are starving. There's not much technology. There's almost no relative trade. It's just, man. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. This entire place is crazy.
I don't know whether it's rumors or whether they're trying to blackmail me. But either way, it's ridiculous. If I was hoarding supplies, would I still be the poor man I am today? My own family can barely get by as it is. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got other matters to attend to.
We heard that you had lost your vision
And
recently.
that's the first bit of truth I've heard all day. The Shogun's army told me that I was unworthy of my vision. And they said I was slacking off in my work. Apparently, I'd even disappointed the Raiden Shogun. And that's why they confiscated my vision.
Well, that's strange. You were helping enforce the Vision Hunt Decree. Why would you be unworthy of your vision?
To be perfectly honest, I don't seem to remember the details. All I know is that I would perform certain things every month. But I don't recall what they were. And it's not just that. I have this unsettling feeling, like someone owes me something.
Does it have to do with the missing emergency provisions?
I didn't take any. Like I said, if I was taking them for myself, I wouldn't be going through such hard times right now. To top it all off, my house was just raided by treasure hoarders, which is why I came here in the first place. I was chasing after them when I got held up by these two. If you don't believe me, go find the treasure hoarders yourself. If there were any emergency provisions to be had, they would have found them.
Huh. He seems
Fucking
to
broken
be telling
people
the truth.
everywhere.
But we better confirm. Let's go round up those treasure hoarders and see what they have to say.
My
We should
heart
be able
fucking
to
bleeds
follow
for the
their
people.
tracks. They couldn't have gone too far.
No. Totally forgot what I was in the menu to do at first. Yeah, my heart just fucking bleeds for these people. Just continuously.
We really outdid ourselves this time. All those samurai houses packed with goods. We really hit the jackpot. I mean, besides that one house.
You haven't seen anything yet. There'll be a lot more where this came from. Today's just the beginning. I'll be leading you all on an epic journey of pillage and plunder that will go down in hoarder history.
Bad guys.
You demand, boss!
These seem like the treasure hoarders we're after. Let's teach them a lesson.
Ow.
Take this! Dodge this! Fry! You're open!
I am on fire. Genshin characters as Disney Atlantis cast. Okay, but then who would be Auden?
Oh, there goes
Is that
all
his
the
name?
Mora.
I haven't
We
seen
worked
that in
hard
like
to
10
steal that,
years.
you know? Come on, boss. Think of something.
Not bad, kid. You ever think of joining the treasure hoarders? We could use someone like you.
Oh, forget it. Tell us all you know about Kurosawa. Probably Albedo, cause nerd. Yeah, fair enough. I don't know much about Albedo. I have seen his picture a couple of times. And I know he's connected to the alchemy stuff.
Kurosawa. Oh, I remember.
But...
So he's the one who sent you after us, huh? Just our luck. I knew he shouldn't have hit that place.
I think that what's their name? Fuck. The mole guy, the guy who like literally sniffs dirt. What's his name? I think that would be a really good input for Klee. Not necessarily dirt, but like the hyper focus on one subject. So I think that the mole was the one responsible for explosives. Oh, so they were different characters. Like I said, I've seen the movie like 10 years ago was the last time I saw that movie. But now I'm probably gonna go watch. Oh, Bobby, the guy who hated musicals is something that me and my wife are going to be watching tonight or tomorrow. We're almost finished with this anime that we've been watching. So that's next up on our list. I keep forgetting to tell you that like we're like super ready to watch that, and it's going to be super, I don't know, fun, hopefully. My wife loves musicals, so like she's super psyched about this and has been trying to get through this anime a lot faster than we went from watching 1 to 2 episodes a night to watching like 4. All right, sorry.
So
Back to the game.
What did you see inside? Was it stuffed with food supplies?
Food supplies? You kidding? That place was a complete mess. All we found was a strange-looking box, hopefully with valuables inside. I didn't want anyone else to see it, so I was planning on opening it myself once we got back. But now that you've caught us, how about we make a deal? That little box for our freedom. What do you say?
You've got a deal. Now show us what's in the box.
Huh? What the?
There's nothing in here but IOUs!
Yeah.
Oh, so he wasn't owed something. He owed people.
To be made out to the owner of a general goods store, a Miss Aoi. We're talking tons of Mora here. We better talk to this Miss Aoi and get to the bottom of this. As for you guys, you're free to go. Just pray that our paths don't cross again.
Yes, of course.
So, we redeemed ourselves for some IOUs. Does that mean we broke even?
Shut it. Let's just get out of here.
Oh, I passed it.
Welcome to Tsukumomono Groceries. We've got everything you need. Can I help you find something? Or perhaps there's something you want to inquire about?
About these IOUs.
Ah, so you're friends of Kurosawa, I take it? Perhaps you're here to pay off his debts.
Whoa! Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're just here to learn where they all came from. How did Kurosawa end up owing you so much money? Did he buy anything super expensive here?
Let me think. Kurosawa would come regularly to purchase large quantities of foodstuffs. He'd always put the payment on his own account. However, The price of provisions began to skyrocket recently, and his salary was no longer enough to cover the cost. So, he started writing out IOUs to cover whatever he couldn't afford of the usual amount.
So that's how he was getting those emergency provisions. But why did he have
Which
to
means he
purchase
probably
an
got busted
usual
down
amount?
by asking
The
for more
prices
money.
increased. Couldn't he just buy less?
Well, if you think about it, the citizens receiving the emergency provisions must have been carefully calculating how much they needed to sustain them each time. Kurosawa thought that it would be quite the disappointment for them if they found they didn't have enough, especially after such long and careful planning. So he deemed it necessary to take on the debt rather than let the people down.
Wow. Kurosawa was purchasing all the emergency provisions at his own expense. And no one ever appreciated what he did. They just complained and held him accountable.
People's attitudes will always reflect their circumstances. In the face of hardship, nobody cares to think twice. If you ask me, had Kurosawa told everyone the truth about the supplies from the start, then there wouldn't be such a severe backlash now. Of course, I'm sure there would still have been some unrest. What he was doing was truly a thankless deed. As for why he chose to spend his own money on emergency provisions and never tell anyone, I'm still not too clear myself. If you're still curious, why don't you go ask him yourself?
Unfortunately, he doesn't
I
remember.
see. That reminds me, it seems that his vision was recently confiscated. Most unfortunate. If he doesn't clear the debt on his name, he'll have no choice but to sell that sword that is so dear to him.
Sword? What sword?
Oh, didn't he tell
On his
you?
hips, blop.
He possesses a very valuable blade. He's carried it for years now. I've asked him about its origins. He told me that it was a gift from his father, that it was too precious to sell. In hindsight, I regret that I never made an offer on it. Everything has its price, at least that's what I think. Why don't you ask him about the sword yourself? Perhaps it'll even provide you with the answers
Spoken
you're
like a
looking
merchant.
for. Oh, but before you go, if you would kindly settle today's bill.
But we didn't buy anything.
We bought information.
Information is also a kind of commodity, wouldn't you agree? Don't worry, I won't charge much for information about Kurosawa. Nothing we ever discussed was explicitly confidential anyway. Oh, let me think.
I have more to
2,000
spare,
more
it's
should be a
fine,
fair
but
price.
At
Her.
least we now know where the emergency provisions are coming from. Plus, we found out that Kurosawa has a priceless sword in his possession. Let's go talk to Kurosawa again and see if he can remember anything.
it's like the same distance either way I go. But at least this way I'll be facing where I'm supposed to be going. That statue is fucking creepy. It's beautiful, but it's creepy.
What are you doing here all by yourself? Where did those other two go?
I presented them with a choice. Either they left or I drew my sword. They left. It turned out to be a real time saver, actually. Perhaps I should start using it more often. Did you manage to track down the treasure hoarders? Everything I said was true, right?
Actually, you recount your encounter with the treasure hoarders in the convenience store.
It turns out that you really were distributing emergency provisions, but they were all purchased at your own expense.
Strange. Is that really the kind of person I was?
I don't really have any such recollection. Even after all you've told me, I still don't remember anything. Why was I purchasing emergency provisions for everyone? And why would I put myself in such a difficult situation? I really don't understand. But I cannot deny that when I brandished my sword to scare those two away, I could sense that my body was somehow reluctant to do so.
The
This
sword.
sword was once wielded by my father. I remember once when I was young, I wanted to sneak out with the blade and show it off to the kids next door. My father ended up catching me in the act and scolded me severely. What did he say? I can't seem to remember that either. It would seem that I forgot many important things when my vision was taken from me. So many memories gone. Forever. No matter how hard I try to remember, all I can remember now is my father telling me that this blade bore his life's creed. Before he passed away, he placed the sword in my hands and said to me, "With this sword, you should..."
Hey, if you look carefully, there seems to be some words engraved on the hilt. Can you recognize the words?
The words are virtue and justice.
Virtue and justice?
Also, Paimon,
Somehow
you're
those
supposed
two
to know
words
that.
seem to explain everything now. Taking on seemingly endless debts to make others happy. I guess that must have been my greatest ambition after all. But what use are virtue and justice? I purchased the provisions for those in need. And look how things ended up. The Tenryo Commission seized my vision. And the very people I was so desperately trying to help refused to understand me. And the irony of all of it is, I somehow still felt sorry when threatening them with my blade. I'm incapable of being a good person, yet I'm equally unable to be bad. I don't know what to do with myself.
Yet another troubled soul. When we get the chance, let's speak to Toma about Kurosawa's debt. The Yashiro Commission would surely help cover his expenses. In any case, we must never let him sell off that sword.
Losing a vision is no trifling matter.
Yeah, seems like losing all ambition is a terrible experience. Fortunately for us, you don't have a vision. Let's go find the next poor soul.
I just started walking like an asshole. These poor unfortunate souls. Lol, but yes, seriously. It's truly devastating. These roads don't make any fucking sense.
Please speak to President Summer. I'm just a helper.
Well, at least there's a bridge here.
What's the hurry?
Oh, isn't this where... Yeah, we have a little marker here. Should look for shinies if they've respawned. I don't know how often they respawn. Okay, maybe the roads make a little bit more sense than I thought they did, but still. Did I miss it?
third person who had their vision taken is supposed to be a famous sword master around these parts. Paimon heard that he's the present-day master of Meikyo Shisui art. Sounds pretty impressive. This is his dojo. Luckily, there's some people around. Let's go talk to them.
Nanako, don't worry. Sensei will be fine.
Doesn't sound good.
Those thugs that challenged the dojo were strong, but he fought them all off in the end, didn't he?
Maybe, but I'm still worried about him. Things have gotten dangerous before in the past, but it's never shaken him. This time, though...
It's just because he's been possessed, that's all. Once the exorcism has taken place, he'll be right as rain in no time.
Hey there! Did something happen?
Who are you? I don't care whether you're trespassers or just here to harass us while Sensei is impaired. Get out of here immediately! Don't make me draw my blade, or you won't live to regret it.
No! You got it so wrong! We just came here to...
We're here to become disciples.
Disciples?
Yep. We've heard all about the mighty master of Meikyo Shisui art. It's the whole reason we came all this way, to seek him out and ask him to train us. But then we got here and overheard you talking about how he got possessed or something?
From the way you're dressed, it doesn't look like you're from around here. Please, accept my apologies. We've had so many people trying to cause us trouble recently that we're on high alert. You haven't arrived at the best of times, I'm afraid. Sensei got possessed recently, and he's still recovering. He's not able to take on any new disciples for the time being.
We can't wait until he's recovered. I'm going back until I can call him... I'm not going back until I can call him my sensei.
I see you are earnest in your pursuit. Okay, how about this? My fellow disciple Nanako and I will explain Sensei's situation to you in a little more detail. Then you can decide whether to stay or to leave. Sensei's name is Domon, a name I'm sure you've already heard. Though self-taught, he mastered the art of the sword to a high level. He then proceeded to defeat many other prominent sword masters, never losing a single fight. He once said that his goal was to become the best sword master in the world. And so, even while training us, he continued to hone his own art. His fervor truly inspired us, and we trained hard, determined to keep up with him. But then...
Not long ago, Sensei had his vision taken away. He hasn't been the same since. He says the strangest things over and over, and he refuses to let us train. Junya and I have discussed it, and we both think that he's been possessed by an evil spirit. So, we've asked the shrine maidens from the Grand Narukami Shrine to perform an exorcism. But if I'm honest, I still have my doubts over whether he'll completely recover.
The Grand Narukami Shrine? What's that?
You haven't heard of it? It's the largest shrine on Narukami Island. The head shrine maiden is reputed to have very close ties with the almighty Shogun herself. Not that we'd have any means of involving the head shrine maiden, of course. But even one of the ordinary shrine maidens from the Grand Narukami Shrine would have clear power and authority to perform an exorcism. So don't worry, Nanako. Sensei is going to be just fine. The exorcism will take place this evening. You're both more than welcome to come and watch if you're interested.
So, losing your vision can cause possession? Guess we should come back this evening and see for ourselves.
Wait until night for the exorcism, okay? It's like 18... Ooh, spooky exorcism, yeah.
Shh. So you decided to come. It's a good thing you didn't arrive any earlier.
you would have had to witness Sensei in one of his fits of madness.
I stayed here the entire
Just
time.
now, when Nanako was attending to him, she heard him whispering a few names to himself. When she asked him who the people were, he suddenly looked panic-stricken and pushed her away. It looked like he was in great distress. He was covering his ears and looking frantically around him with bloodshot eyes. All the while he kept calling those names. Some of them we knew, others we didn't recognize. But they all seemed to be the names of sword masters he had defeated in the past. One of them was Anzai. He used to be a fellow disciple of Sensei's. His senior, in fact. But Sensei defeated him in a duel many years ago, and he has been a wanderer ever since. Sensei wouldn't stop calling his name. Thankfully, the Shrine Maidens managed to subdue him, so the exorcism can finally continue. The ritual has now begun. All we can do is patiently await the result. Here's hoping Sensei will be back to his normal self very soon. Please, excuse me for a moment while I fetch some water. If he wakes up, he is sure to be thirsty.
Oh, there he goes. After him.
Who's that sneaking around? Uh-oh. Could they be here to mess up the exorcism?
Oh, maybe they're not the
We
same
won't
person.
let them get away with it. Come on, let's go after them. Seems they aren't here. Should we keep going further up? Is this definitely the right place? Let's look a little further up. Aha! Suspicious person sighted! That's gotta...
How did you catch up with me
Bro, you are old.
so quickly? Are you sure you're Domon's disciples? You move even quicker than he does. Unless... I guess it's been a few years.
Paimon, you can't
Maybe
just
his
call
skills
people
have
sus.
improved again.
Excuse me? We're the ones asking the questions here. First off, who are you? And what are you doing sneaking around these parts? You seem like bad news, mister.
Bad news? I'll have you know I trained side by side with Domon back in the day, long before you ever showed up. I don't care to talk about that time anymore. But if you must know, I am Domon's senior.
His senior? Wait, that means you must be...
Anzai? Yes, that's me.
Why did you run?
I don't wish to see Domon or anyone else associated with him ever again. When we were young, we trained under the same sword master, studying Make-Yoshi Sui art together. I had begun training 5 years before him, and everyone looked up to me
Well,
as a steady and
excuse me,
dependable older
princess,
disciple.
Bobby says.
Practitioners of Make-Yoshi Sui art seek to achieve stillness of mind, freedom from all agitation. So the majority of disciples are indifferent to rank and reward. I was no exception.
That right here. This is what fucking broke me last time. Like, not in this moment, but remembering this part of the quest and then going and fighting Ai. And her being all like, hey, I'm gonna have this peaceful fucking realm of mind and stay here far away from the agitation and the changes and everything that comes with evolution and eternity that is bad, and I'm only gonna have the good parts of eternity, which is like nirvana, but I am going to inflict onto the people that I have promised to rule over for eternity. I'm going to inflict pain, suffering, and absolute torture to their minds. I hate this fucking...
But Domon was different.
Nation.
First thing he did when he joined was go straight to our sensei and ask him, with a beaming smile on his face, how to become the best in the world. Sensei scolded him and told him that the art of the sword should not be used for such vain ends. Sensei said that coveting the title of the best sword master, barely days into his training, showed that he had a fickle mind, and that this would impede him from ever mastering the blade. I thought so too at the time, but Domon began making swift progress in his training and even started catching up with me. Only then did I realize that it was Domon who had long since freed his mind from all agitation. He was consumed by his singular desire to become the best in the world. He sought nothing less than perfection in the art of the sword, and nothing could deter him from this goal, no matter what stood in his way.
Sure sounds like he meant business. So how come you don't want to ever see him again?
Because until he arrived, I was convinced that I would succeed our sensei as the master of Meikyo Shisui art. Of all the disciples, I was the most gifted. I had trained the longest. Everyone had high expectations from me. Domon's arrival changed everything. When we sparred, I lost not just the match, but my pride and my status too. I fled the dojo that day and never looked back. Later, I heard that he sparred with Sensei too. Sensei was advanced in years by then, and unfortunately that match used up every last ounce of energy in his body. After that, I wanted nothing further to do with him. Deep down, though, I still respected his mastery of the blade and his commitment to the art of the sword. So, when I heard rumors that he had lost his mind, my first reaction was to dismiss them as false. How could he, of all people, have lost his mind? His mind was the sharpest of them all. He had practiced Meikyo Shisui art to perfection. I decided to quietly come and see if it were true. Then, to my complete astonishment, I heard him call my name. I thought mine was a name he had long since forgotten. So you see, I came here not to cause him any harm. I just wanted to see for myself. Okay, you've heard my story. You should get back now. The exorcism is probably finishing.
Seems like we got it wrong this time. He wasn't here to mess up the exorcism at all. Still, Paimon's not sure we should bring him back with us. Let's go see how the exorcism's coming along.
I am going the wrong way. I just started walking again. This place can be so pretty. Like, this game in general, everywhere I go, is just... they're so variant and directly, like, just different.
You're saying he isn't possessed? Does that mean that he's just lost his mind? But how is that possible? No, I refuse to believe it. Something's clearly wrong.
Nanako, please. Try not to get agitated.
I am sorry. With what powers I have, I can find no sign of any malignant spirit having possessed Domon. But spirits may take a myriad of forms in this world, many of which I cannot claim to have witnessed myself. Thus, I dare not rule out possession with complete certainty. And all is certainly not lost, for I received word not long ago that Lady Yai has taken an interest in your sensei's case.
Lady Yai? Is that the same Lady Yai that I think you mean?
The head shrine maiden of the Grand Narukami Shrine? That's wonderful news! Then Sensei will be sure to recover.
Correct. Lady Yai is most knowledgeable indeed, and has abundant experience in the exorcism of evil spirits and aversion of great calamities. I am unable to say for certain whether an evil spirit has possessed your sensei, but Lady Yai can give a conclusive verdict.
Excuse me, Miss Inagi, but I must ask.
Time to meet up
Should
with...
we prepare a greeting gift for Lady Yai?
That won't be necessary.
Gunyi?
All that is required of you is your
I'm
timely
bad at
arrival
names
at the
regardless
Grand
of the
Narukami
culture.
Shrine. Lady Yai does not like to be kept waiting. I must leave now, but we will meet soon at the shrine.
Yine.
I wish Domon a full and speedy recovery.
Who'd have thought Lady Yai herself would have taken notice of our sensei's case?
Do you mean to say that Sensei isn't renowned enough to deserve Lady Yai's attention?
No, that's not what I meant at all. You misunderstand me. I just mean this is Lady Yai, the head shrine maiden. She has direct and close contact with the almighty Shogun herself. Anyway, you should join us too, tomorrow. Given that you've traveled all this way just to meet our sensei, we, the disciples of Meikyo Shisui Art, will do our best to help you.
I will gladly join you.
After all, everyone seems pretty excited about Lady Yai. We're curious to meet her too. Who knows? Maybe we'll be able to find out a thing or two about the Raiden children from her.
Ooh. That looks like this is gonna be the best way to get there. This is a road that doesn't actually show up on the map, or not. Really? Crazy. Maybe it's not a road after all. Well, this is the way we're going up. Crap. Bug. Bug.
Fascinating.
Whoa. I wonder how many people have fallen to their deaths. Is there a tree there? Am I even going the right way? There's water. I mean... setting aside that it looks electrified, there is a length of of being where no water is actually going to break your fall. I mean, unless of course you have a quote-unquote vision. I think I'm still going the right way. I hope so. The water will then kill you slowly, but it is not a death fall. Oh. Good. Oh look, pretty ravens. Is this to me for here? Hello, Outlander. What you doing? I'm counting the people coming to the shrine for fortune slips. There's a very short girl in a Tanaki outfit drawing a slip, wishing to grow taller or something. There's also a beautiful older girl wishing that Azuma will remain peaceful and stuff. Oh, and there was some big bro wishing for the Kuju clan to be prosperous. Their wishes are so special. My wish is just to be able to play hide and seek with my sister. Viewpoint? Oh, that's pretty.
Another bad one? No, let me try again.
Uh-oh, that's not how you do fortunes.
Do you think that's Lady Ai? Oh, no wonder Junior is so excited.
She is really
She has
pretty.
a really striking presence. Also, is it
Ready
just
for the start of the
did
trees.
she look right
What does
at
that
us
mean?
just now? It was probably nothing. It's not like she's ever seen us before.
Keep away. Keep away from me. I gave up the art of the sword. Please, let me go, I beg you.
As you can see, Lady Yai, Domon has persisted in this state for some time now. He appears to see those who have lost to him in duels past, gathered all
Oh, her
around
vision
him
is
to
an earring.
persecute
That's really
him.
cool.
Lady
Also,
Ai,
probably really heavy.
it must be a possession, right? This is nothing like him at all. In the past, no matter what came his way, he would always face it with a confident smile.
I'm sorry. It is clear to me that your sensei is not possessed by any evil spirit.
But then does that mean he...
Yes. This is a change in the person himself. Unable to cope with the tremendous pressure he was under, he suffered a spiritual collapse. With his wits impaired, he finally descended into madness. As one who is thrown into the sea, though he fights back desperately against his predicament, it does nothing to prevent his descent into the depths. As for what has triggered this change, I believe it must be the loss of his vision. For to be stripped of one's vision is to be stripped of one's ambition.
Stripped of his ambition? But Lady Yai, even without his ambition, why should he suffer such a dramatic change? How does that explain his descent into madness?
Breathing.
Your school practices Meikyo Shisui art, does it not? Stillness of mind, freedom from all agitation. What a fine notion that would be if any in this world could ever hope to achieve it. There was once one who claimed to be indifferent to rank and reward, and who fled enraged when defeated by his junior. And then there was an aged swordmaster who was aggrieved enough that he crossed blades with a disciple he himself had taught. Then, what of the one who crossed blades with his own sensei and beloved fellow disciple, and defeated them both? Can one truly remain unagitated, of still mind in moments such as these?
Lady, I'm not sure I understand.
The path of the Sword Master is filled with twists and turns. It is no small undertaking to pursue the position of greatest Sword Master in the world. It requires one to take their sword firmly in both hands and cut down the hopes and dreams of others, even those of one's closest companions. Only a deep commitment to his ambition to become the best made it possible for him to rise above the pain of these encounters, to focus on the way ahead. When that ambition disappeared, he began to doubt himself. As he battled his growing anxiety, he slowly descended into the state you see him in now. Much like a certain fatally flawed friend of mine.
Poor Sensei. To think he's been suffering so greatly.
I'm sorry. It's all my fault. Father, Sensei, Anzai.
That's enough.
Huh? Isn't that Anzai? Where did he come from? Did he follow us the whole way here?
Anzai, why are there two of you? Is that you or a ghost? You're here for revenge, aren't you? I knew it would come. I never should have.
You're right to assume that my feelings towards you are far from kindly. But I didn't come here to settle a score. It's been so long now that I made peace with it years ago. You did nothing wrong that day. I couldn't face the humiliation. That's why I ran. I don't think most of the people you beat along the way would hold it against you. On the contrary, when you cut our ambitions short, we entrusted them to you, in the hopes that they might carry you further. Now I know that we can't place our hopes in you any longer, since you've been stripped of your ambitions too. But that is no reason to strip them of theirs. Follow the way of the sword all the way to the highest peak. You taught them that, didn't you?
But what if one day, the same thing happens to them? I put everything I had into trying to become the best. But what if it was all a huge mistake right from the start? If there's a chance they'll end up like me one day, I'd rather they stay where they are now than go any further down this path.
Have you asked them what they think?
Sensei, after you rescued me from the hands of the pirates, I told myself I would follow in your footsteps for the rest of my days. I can't know whether I will suffer in my future as you do now. All I know is that here and now, in the present, I wish to continue. I want to keep going until the day that I can stand before everyone with my head held high and announce that I, like my sensei Domon before me, am a master of Meikyo Shisui art.
Nanako's far from the only one. Actually, all of us think that way.
Goodness. Well,
You see? You can place the ambition you once had in their hands. Being stripped of your ambition is something that's never happened to me, so I can't claim to understand it. But I do know what it feels like to have your ambitions crushed. That's what happened on the day that you so effortlessly defeated me. So, just as I once placed my ambitions onto you, it is time for you to release yours into their custody. You are not in the same position that I was. When I left, I had nothing to my name. But you have a great number of worthy disciples.
I understand. I'm sorry to have made you worry for me, and for the state of Meikyo Shisui art. I no longer have the resolve to become the best in the world. The emptiness and suffering inside of me will not abate, so I cannot hope to still my mind and be free of agitation. But as your sensei, I shall commit to imparting unto you everything I have learned in my life so far. This is my promise. And I humbly ask Anzai, my senior, to hold me to my word.
You can count on that. I'd be checking in on you occasionally anyway, just to make sure you hadn't lost your mind again. But I am now used to the life of a wanderer. I do not belong in the dojo anymore, so I will simply stop by once in a while to make sure you aren't cutting any corners with them. Well, don't just stand there staring at me. Say thank you to Lady Yai and then get yourself back home.
So even though his ambition was taken away, his disciples can take it over on his behalf. Guess that
Yes,
sort
it
of
seems-
solves this one, huh?
Yes, it seems a good resolution as we can hope
Traveler, a moment, please. Lady Yai has some words for you.
So, my intuition was correct. The wind that blows from afar carries fresh life to these shores. For us to meet now is premature. Nevertheless, you set foot on these islands at precisely the right moment. I have high hopes for you, child. Don't disappoint me.
Lady Yai seems to have taken a real interest in you. She seems super mysterious. Paimon's so curious what she really meant by all that. We can come back to it another time. For now, we should go report back to Miss Kamisato.
Narukami.
Oh, Ayaka! Guess who fulfilled all your wishes? Huh? Ayaka! Huh?
Huh? No.
Huh?
Huh?
Traveler, Paimon, it is a pleasure to finally meet you both face to face. I have heard
She's
all
actually
about
real
how you
pretty.
helped our three friends. My sincerest thanks to you.
The damage done by losing a vision cannot completely be undone.
Yeah. Short of getting them their visions back, it seems like there's no way to really help them. Ayaka, how come this time you get to come out and meet us in person?
Because now that you have done the three things I asked of you, I consider you to be my friends. As you will observe, I dispense with the screen for Toma also.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a second. But
Are
isn't
those
Toma
horns or a
your,
headband? I really can't tell.
servant? Paimon's happy to help and all, but Paimon sure as heck did not sign up to be a servant.
Oh. Paimon, you are most entertaining. Toma is first and foremost my friend, and was so before he ever became my attendant.
Oh, okay then. Ayaka, you seem pretty different out in the open compared to how you are behind the screen. Alright, we can be friends.
Friend request accepted.
Thank you both kindly. Back to the matter at hand. You have now witnessed the pain of those deprived of their visions. What are your feelings on what you have seen?
It seems to be a fate worse than death.
Perhaps in the eyes of a deity such as the almighty Shogun, the lives of those who inhabit the world are inconsequential. Thunders roar, lightnings flash, the winds assault, and the rains descent. All these things take place with no regard for the feelings of the common people. But I believe that surely you understand what they must endure. It seems that perhaps now you can appreciate my feelings on all of this. In which case, perhaps you would be willing to reconsider your stance?
I will help you fight the Vision Hunt decree.
You will? Really?
But you must keep the promise you made me.
Naturally.
All right, bravo, my lady. You were right all along.
See? I told you he wouldn't reject them. I'd placed my trust in the right person after all. Now then, given that the remainder of our discussion pertains to matters of a more confidential nature, perhaps we could move to the Komori Tea House? We ought not to involve other members of the Yashiro Commission.
Take you once again to the tea house. It goes so fast.
Please continue without me. I'll keep watch.
So, what's the deal with this place anyway? What makes it your favorite meeting spot?
This is land that was gifted to the Yashiro Commission by the Shogun. The Kamisato clan has the exclusive right to plan, build, and repair any property on this land, and even to allow or deny access. Such privileges exist due to the Yashiro Commission's role in managing ceremonial affairs. Oftentimes, it is not appropriate to discuss details in front of bystanders.
Oh, Paimon gets it! Gotta keep a bit of mystery, right?
Once the number of ceremonial affairs conducted in the city began to decline, our forebears built a tea house here. Only members of the Yashiro Commission are permitted to come and go as they please.
Makes sense. Perfect place for a secret base.
In any case, we can talk freely here. I presume you have a few questions that you wish to ask me?
Have you raised a formal objection to the Vision Hunt decree?
Of course. We have tried on numerous occasions. Unfortunately, each time a proposal to repeal the decree arrives at Tenshukaku, it is promptly vetoed by both the Tenryou Commission and the Kanjo Commission, and subsequently scrapped. They invariably adopt a stance of unconditional support for the Shogun's decisions. They have no interest in discussing anything. It almost makes one wonder whether they had a hand in the Shogun's sudden decision to issue the Vision Hunt decree.
What kind of god is the Raiden?
The almighty Shogun. I've seen her on but only a few occasions, most of them formal ceremonies. She inspires awe, commands respect, and exudes a sense of absolute authority. But as I recall, there was something else about her that struck me even more deeply. It was her almost complete lack of any emotion. In that sense, she appeared to me to be less of a ruler and more of, well, an executive official, I suppose. Focused exclusively on her single goal of implementing eternity, acting accordingly without feeling.
Is no one else fighting the Vision Decree Hunt?
The issue is this. For the vast majority of people, the Vision Hunt decree is something that has no implications whatsoever. After all, it is but a tiny minority of people who receive visions. Moreover, it is not unknown for visions to spark jealousy in others. Because of this, the attitude of most people towards the Vision Hunt decree is one of indifference.
How can they be like that? Paimon's getting mad.
Nevertheless, in addition to us, there is also the resistance on Watatsumi Island.
Resistance? You mean like an army fighting against the decree?
Yes. Many who have lost or fear losing their visions have rallied together under Sango no Miya on Watatsumi Island to form a resistance group. To say a little more about Sango no Miya, historically, there has always been some conflict between them and the shogunate of Narukami Island due to their different belief systems. But I do wonder whether there may be some other agenda behind their resistance movement, beyond merely fighting the Vision Hunt decree.
I have no further questions.
Paimon has a question, though.
Oh?
What would you like to know, Paimon?
Have you got a plan yet to fight the Vision Hunt Decree?
To be honest, we do not.
What?
Please, do not forget that challenging the Vision Hunt Decree is tantamount to challenging a deity. Coming to terms with that is already a difficult step to take.
So what are we gonna do?
Well, for the moment, all we can do is try and reduce the harm that is being caused by this decree. For example, by providing vision bearers with safe refuge, or manufacturing counterfeit visions for them as a contingency measure.
You're telling Paimon that there are people out there who can make fake visions?
Don't underestimate the talents of the craftspeople in Hanamizaka. To the naked eye, their counterfeits are indistinguishable from the genuine article.
Must have been where Venti went.
The problem we are facing right now is that Master Masakatsu, who was providing us with counterfeit visions, has recently been arrested by the Tenryo Commission.
Darn! So they found out about it? Ugh.
Yes. We knew it was not a long-term solution, and that it was only a matter of time before it would be exposed. But we cannot simply abandon Master Masakatsu.
He has saved many others.
Exactly. I feel the same way. But given mine and Toma's identities as part of the Yashiro Commission, breaking him out of prison would risk dragging down the reputation of the entire Kamisato clan should we be caught. That would only serve to cast suspicion on any future activity we might seek to attempt.
So you're offloading that job to me, huh?
By no means do we intend to place the burden of such a task on your shoulders alone. When you are ready, go to Hanamizaka and look for a fireworks shop run by the Nagonohara family. There, you will find someone who can help you.
Oh, good. Mori Justice. Drunk, you came to my stream late. I'm thinking of closing it down. I'm gonna get outside of the place that we need to be. Oh, this stuff kills me. Truly reminds me of like Holocaust level nonsense. Which, I mean, on one hand, I find really cool because, you know, everyone likes to forget that Japan had a hand in the Holocaust and in the Pacific theater. So it's cool that we get some sort of acknowledgement of that. Also, this is a Chinese game, and China and Japan do not have the best relationships, to say the least.
On, let's get moving.
So it's kind of cool to see that
frozen
they
in
still
place
give
after
this a
all.
lot of respect. But also, God, this fucking entire fucking nation makes me angry. Like, the Vision Hunt just kills me. So bad. So bad. So yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you everyone for supporting me. I really, really appreciate it. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. I also have a secondary stream at night nowadays where we're playing through High Water. And then after High Water it'll be whatever game next. It's at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Come if you can. If you can't, I enjoy seeing you in the mornings. But yeah, have a great day, Wisps. I hope it is a good one.